This is the moment a UPS cargo plane went down in Louisville, Kentucky last night just after takeoff. The crash killed at least 9 people and injured nearly a dozen others. More than 200 first responders raced to the scene. Louisville International Airport was able to open at least one runway this morning as officials from the NTSB began their investigation. For more on this, I'm going to bring in CBS News correspondent Nicole Valdes, who's in Louisville for us this morning. Nicole, what's the situation right now? Yesterday, we thought that there were only injuries. Now we've learned, of course, of 9 tragic deaths. What more can you tell us?
Hi, Vlad. Yeah, Governor Andy Beshear announcing those additional deaths this morning, something he calls a heartbreaking thing to be talking about. We do know a couple of things have changed as of this morning. First thing is that the Louisville Airport is back open, although there are still several taxiways that are closed as the investigation into this deadly crash continues. Meanwhile, UPS has suspended operations for the day as they work with those leaders to determine what went wrong in that crash that happened just moments after that plane tried to take off. It was heading from Louisville to Honolulu, a nearly 9-hour journey. So you've got to imagine the amount of fuel that was on that plane. And it's really proof as to why we saw such a massive explosion and such a long burning fire, up to 250,000 pounds of fuel on that plane, and potentially 20,000 or so packages making their way from Kentucky to Hawaii. So again, maybe paints a picture, give some more context here as to why we saw those incredibly intense images yesterday, just moments after that crash here. We do know there are still so many questions, right, of not only the people who were involved, the pilots on board. We know 3 people were among those on board there. And we just got an update from the University of Louisville. They say that they got about 15 patients in yesterday after that crash. All but 2 have been released. Those 2 are still in the ICU.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much for your reporting. We appreciate it. Joining me now to talk more about this is the governor of Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear. Governor, thank you so much for joining us on what I know is a very, very difficult morning for you and first responders in your state. Can you describe for our audience what the first priority is today, given that you've got one runway open now at Louisville? Is there a danger to people in the area at the moment?
Well, our first goal is to continue the search and rescue efforts, though they are likely becoming recovery efforts at this point, to ensure that there is no one that continues to be trapped and that we've accounted for everyone that we've lost. The airport is being very safe, ensuring that only one, I believe, of the runways is in operation. We've worked really hard throughout the night to get control of the fire. The shelter-in-place order is gotten very small in a very small area right around the crash site. The area we're concerned about, water, also very, very localized, and this is a more industrial area. So we believe we have minimized the impacts on the rest of the community, and just really proud of everyone, from first responders from dozens of different areas to our energy and environmental cabinet folks that have been out there testing, to local emergency management. This was an all hands on deck, state, local, federal response that worked seamlessly. Everybody just working together to try to save as many lives, to protect as many people, and to lessen the impact to the biggest degree we can.
Governor, I know it's still early, but what have we learned about the victims? I know that there's also some reporting that the death toll could possibly rise. My first question would be, what are some of the resources that are available for the families of the victims?
We have a reunification center that was set up that we had about 16 families as of last night come to. That suggests that there may be additional victims that are out there, though my hope is as many of those families were reunited with somebody in the hospital as possible. We've been through some tragedies in Kentucky and in Louisville before, and I know what it's like to be sitting there at the hospital looking at families hoping that their loved one is going to be somebody who comes in and thus they can take home. But we know we've got at least 9. That toll could rise. We have surged resources to the area. So my hope is that we have a much more firm grasp this afternoon if we've lost any more individuals. But, going from 7 last night to 9 this morning hurts, because that's likely 2 more Kentuckians, certainly 2 more Americans that aren't going home to families that are going to miss them. And the trauma of losing somebody that you love is already tough. But to lose them in something as violent as this, we just really got to be thinking about and helping those families.
For sure. And again, understanding that it's still very, very early, what updates have you been given on the investigation? Do we know exactly what may have happened? When we look at the video, we can see one of the engines or more of the engines on fire as that plane comes down. Have you learned anything to give you any insight into what may have happened during this really tragic, horrific incident?
The NTSB, I believe, is arriving right now. They are going to be the lead, really the sole agency that is going to look at the causation here. But what we do have is a lot of evidence for them to review. You have a lot of very graphic videos that are going to be really hard for a lot of families that are out there. You've got this being a UPS plane, meaning they're going to have significant data on the plane, on its maintenance. And so I hope the NTSB can move pretty quickly. What I'll add is this was bad. I mean, it is bad, but it could have been worse. This crash site was very close to a large Ford plant. It's very close to our convention center that has a big livestock show that was about to start. It just barely missed a bar and a restaurant. So it's hard to feel fortunate when you lose 9 children of God taken far too soon. But this could have been in the hundreds.
Governor Andy Beshear, thank you, sir, and thank you for your attempts at providing that comfort, those condolences to the families of those victims and to all Kentuckians who saw what happened yesterday. Thank you very much for spending some time with us on what I'm sure is what I know is a very busy morning. And I know that you will be holding a news conference in about an hour, and of course we'll bring that to our viewers when it begins. Governor Andy Beshear, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.